Alrighty. So yeah, today's video is about videos I've never made, or videos I would have made, but they probably won't ever come out. And I think this is one of the things that YouTubers have always wanted to talk about, but they're always scared to talk about it. Because, for example, one of my favorite YouTubers, SkillUp, the very famous video game reviewer, he is very fond of the game Final Fantasy XIV. Everybody in his audience says, where was the review? You played the game, you loved it, you talked about it in your top 10s. Honestly, I know deep down out there, he might have got halfway through a review, was working deep on the edit or the writing, and probably his focus went elsewhere. And this has happened to me on so many videos, I can't even tell you. So for me, the main videos that I worked on and just kind of got put on the back burner, I want to talk about today. And honestly, I'm sorry if these videos interest you, because they might not come out. So that's just how it is. So the first video, the most recent video that I might release here and there, but I've gone back and forth on it, is I was working on a video essay about Patterson, the film by Jim Jarmusch. I saw that film about a year ago. I was kind of super enamored by it when I saw it. It's one of the best films by artists for artists type of movies, like Birdman or whatever. So yeah, that film really shows what it's like to be a creative in today and how do you navigate these types of things. And it basically was going to be a video essay about the conundrum of living a creative life and relating it to Patterson. Because I've seen recent films talking about the poetry and different symbolism within the film, and those are all well and good. But it's one of those video essays that I was getting a little too personal in my script, and it's honestly was at this point it's a little too uncomfortable for me to share so much that I can't. It's every time I go back to the project and get on the edit or I get in the script, it's I hit a wall every time. And that's happened to me a few times on projects, but especially with the Patterson video. So yeah. But the thing about the Patterson video, that type of video I was also working on for another film which is similar, which is called Youth by Paulo Sorrento. And right now with that project, I'm kind of torn. What film do I even make it about, or what do I relate it to? And a lot of times these video essays that you make, they take months to make. Especially if you have other things going on in your life and you're not just a full-time YouTuber, you put all your heart and soul into them and then you release them, and nobody sees them. The other video, which is quite an interesting video, a couple months back I was playing Escape from Tarkov with my friends, and if anybody knows Escape from Tarkov, you're aware it's a hardcore military survival shooter. That game, my friends will tell you, that game gets me tilted beyond belief. I've put in a stupid amount of hours into that game, and the main thing that happens with that game is it will wipe. So it will do a reset of the game, and everyone starts back at zero, and then it's kind of this 0 to a 300-hour grind for a lot of people, where over a few months you're back up grinding gear, killing other players, surviving, stuff like that. And the thing about Escape from Tarkov, and even mentioning this right now scares the shit out of me, is that game has an infestation of cheaters, an insane amount of cheaters in that game. There's an absolutely massive cheater economy in the game, where they make millions and millions of dollars per year, where there is real money transactions. So people will pay 30, 40, 50 bucks for items in the game to give them a leg up. And when you get into a game in that game, you're usually playing with 8 to 12 other players. And a lot of times, people who play this game, you quickly realize you're not good enough, you suck, and it's gonna take you hundreds of hours to get good. And so the main idea for the video that I was gonna make is I was interested in making an internet documentary, because I've seen people make some really good documentaries on YouTube before, and this is one of those topics where I have to dive deep and discover how deep does this go. I have to interview cheaters, I have to interview, maybe find developers, and it was one of those things where I was so pissed off at what the last wipe was, the early wipe, that I was totally in. I'm gonna make a documentary about cheating. And I don't know, I saw this video by Upper Echelon Gamers about EFTs cheating, and one of the main things he said in the video was the sheer length that BSG will go to take down your channel if you even mention their game's cheating and you go deep into these type of things. And the video that he made had Gears of War gameplay footage the whole time. And he was talking about other YouTube channels that got, 3-4 strikes for even mentioning problems with the game relative to cheating. And if you do any Google searching at all, you'll quickly realize there's some very shady stuff going on with Escape from Tarkov. There's people getting game keys for cheap. There's cheater discords getting protected by subreddits. It gets very murky. And it's still a topic that gives me a lot of ideas, but it's also one of those things where I'm not in a position right now to set myself out to make that type of thing. Also support my ass in the process. So it's one of those projects where maybe someday I can make a real documentary about these types of issues. But right now, I just don't think it's the time. All right, the third video that I haven't made that I put work into was a video about Tarkovsky, and more specifically about Stalker. And this was going to be a long video. I'm talking an hour and a half video about the cinematography of Stalker, the influence of Stalker, and many other things. I'm still very interested in making this type of video, but the thing about this video in particular is I love Tarkovsky. I've seen a couple films, but in my opinion, I haven't seen enough. I need to see more Tarkovsky. I need to sit on these things longer, because I know there's plenty of videos online talking about his work and stuff, but I just think for me to have my mark on Tarkovsky and make a video honoring him, I just need to see more, and I just need more time. So yeah, those are just 3 videos that I probably put too much time into over the last couple years, and they just haven't come out. The thing about that is it's just the reality of trying to create content. And it's one of those things that I've learned is that sometimes I can get really into a project and I start getting totally invested into it, and then something else comes up and then I just end up working on that. And I shouldn't get down on myself not putting out that work. And you guys in the audience, if any of you had short films or YouTube videos or anything that you were invested into but never came out, that's totally okay. That's the point of this video, is not every project gets finished. That's it. So don't get down on yourselves and just move on to something else. The thing is every project is a learning experience, no matter where you are in the project. So I've known people who have gone full in on a short film, put in a bunch of time on it, and then it just evaporates. They make a script, they start analyzing things, meeting with crew members, and then things just completely evaporate. And that's okay, because in that short production period, they must have learned something. And even the people who came on, they learned red flags on a project. They learned different things. So yeah, everything's a learning experience. If a project doesn't get done, it's not a big deal. And what I've realized recently is I have things I want to do now, and it's just a matter of me striking while they're hot and just getting them out there for you guys. And a big thing is removing less friction between me making a video and putting it out for the world. Right now, I'm talking to a camera, simple setup, getting my ideas out there. Instead, I could have made this video completely VO, video essay, script, all this and that. But guess what? It probably wouldn't have came out, and I probably would have made something else, and you would have never saw this. So that's what I'm kind of learning now, is how can I make videos that you all will want to see and I can put out in a more timely manner, and most of all, remove less friction for me to make the video so it actually just gets done and it's out there. Because there's a famous YouTuber, which his name's Peter McKinnon, and he said done is better than perfect. Honestly, I couldn't be more true. So remember that. And yeah, with that all out of the way, have a great day, guys. Peace. So guys, forgot to put this in the video, but recently I created a Discord called Cafe Creative, and it's basically just a melting pot for photographers, filmmakers, and gamers, just to get in one place together and just talk about whatever interests them. So if you're interested in that type of thing, if you're interested in chats around film photography, chats around video editing, content creation, whatever, or you just want to talk to me, join the Discord below. And yeah,